Hello, everyone. My name is Danny. This review is for the movie called IP Man 2. This is a 2010 movie. It is rated R. It runs an hour and 50 minutes. And it stars Donnie Yen, Zhao Ming Huang, and Samo Kambo Hong. The description: centering on IP Man's migration to Hong Kong in 1949 as he attempts to propagate his discipline of Wing Chun martial arts. This is IP Man 2. Watching the movie and listening to people call him Master and all these other names, I think the most common thing I'm being able to hear is Ip Man. But I'll just say IP Man so that everybody knows what we're talking about. I think that's what most people are identifying this movie as. So going forward, I'm going to say IP Man. Um, First things first. This is the second one in an assumptive series, and I think the way that the people who handled making these movies, the way they handled it, was thinking that every movie they made was going to be the last one because they all have pretty definitive endings. So I'm not sure they made the first one thinking there would be a second one. And I really feel like they were trying on the second one to make sure they had a third one. Because this one is dubbed in English and the humor is off. And it seems like they're trying way too hard, but I do appreciate the dubbed in English. Reading subtitles gets frustrating after a while, and sometimes you just want to watch the movie, and that's easy with movies like this because the action is kind of what sells. But you also want to know what's going on with the storyline, so having it dubbed in English starting on the second one, I think really helped things, but didn't help this movie in particular because it is the second one of the series. It tries to be funny and it's not. So that's kind of my first take on it there. Um, like I said, it's trying really, really hard to be a good second movie so it can get a third. Obviously, now, in this day and age, we all know that it got a third one, but I really think that the second one is way too political. There's way too much stuff going on with the government that, is that really all they could think of to do to have, happen the whole time? I don't know. It just seemed a little, too much to be laying on a second movie to have it be this political and this humorous but not funny. It was just way trying too hard. It's not focused either. That's my, like, just sitting and watching it and feeling sorry for it being the second movie of a series. Like, it just didn't have any focus. It just went from one thing to another thing and another thing. And it just reminded me of a movie like Rush Hour. Just, oh, we're going to go do this battle scene in this room. Oh, we're at this restaurant. We're fighting these guys. Oh, we're trying to save this person over here. And, it just seems like it's trying to throw all this stuff at you so that you think our main character, IP Man or someone like Jackie Chan, that their action is enough to blur you from the bad parts of the movie. And it just doesn't seem to work. My biggest takeaway from this movie is that I couldn't believe that they still didn't know who this guy was after the first movie. Like, nobody heard about what he did for their country in the first movie. And then they have to wonder who this guy is. They have to act like he's a nobody in the second one. So, my biggest takeaway was that they should really have him as a legend in the third, or I was going to start to get annoyed. And I was like, this movie is not Rocky, but everybody kind of knows who Rocky is at least, and everybody should know who IP Man is at least by the third. So um, that's my biggest takeaway. I think it was a fine second movie. I think it was hurt by trying to have the humor and the action and the story. And like I said about the first, it kind of does have the same definitive ending, so I'm kind of surprised they made another one. But I'll give a B minus to IP Man 2. We start to feel the trend towards talking about Bruce Lee, and at least that has something, to meaning, some kind of meaning in the second movie. At least the second movie had that purpose in it. But otherwise, it was just kind of a enjoyable thing. It still has the brutality in it as much as the first one. I think really those are the two most brutal movies in this series. And so I appreciate that. I did not see that coming about this series being so brutal, because it's supposed to be kind of more of a self-defense style of fighting. So I really appreciate that. Really creative characters. Obviously, in the second one, we know whoever's kind of persevering through their struggle is going to survive this second movie. So really start to see some trends towards a third movie. So if you are watching this video, make sure you watch my reviews for number 3 and 4, and we'll keep going. Thanks a lot, guys. A B minus for IP Man 2. My name is Danny. If you like this or any of my other videos, try and give some of them a watch. Like and subscribe to my channel if you would. Enjoy movies. Thanks.